In the last Direct, we went from knowing nothing to, well, knowing quite a bit about how online works in Mario Maker 2, but they didn't elaborate on every portion, and there were some crucial elements that we're still in the dark about. So that's why we've acquired the help of the old analysis machine to see what secrets and hidden details may be lurking in Mario Maker 2. Of course, this is one of many videos the analysis machine has assisted with, so for even more on Mario Maker 2, take a wander through our Mario Maker 2 playlist. Anyway, let's go! But before we jump onto online, there's one little detail we want to talk about first, and it's something we've already noted with local multiplayer. To make it brief, not only does the game's official website and eShop listings state that it works with 1 to 4 players locally, but we may have even seen it in action, with a quick scene in the Direct showcasing what appears to be a same-screen dynamic camera. And given that the speed shifts with Luigi's traversal and he's not in the center of the screen, we don't believe this is an auto-scroller. Yeah, you can dictate the speed of the scroll, but not to this sensitivity. Also, take a look at this icon when you boot up a level from the course bot. That looks very similar to the icon found in the stage editor, and seeming as we know you can build locally with 2 players, being Mario and Luigi, we have to assume that you can play with other players, being Mario, Luigi, Toad, and Toadette. But hold on a sec, are we actually limited to building solely with Mario and Luigi? Because it seems even with 4 players active here, we're still able to select the make function. Perhaps there'll be a prompt saying that only Mario and Luigi can build, which would go hand in hand with the promotional art. But maybe Toad and Toadette can still jump in when testing levels. Or maybe this icon just means that 4 players are supported in this level. After all, it does seem that we can stuff question mark boxes with multiple items, so some levels may not be multiplayer friendly, and maybe that's what this is for. Anyway, that's enough about local multiplayer. This is about online after all, and it's worth noting that you'll need a Nintendo Switch Online subscription to play and upload levels. Though if you're not already a member, there is a version of the game that comes with an online bundle, so there's still some options for you. Alright, let's go back to CourseBot a sec and see how this works in Mario Maker 2. And unlike the first game, you can add a description to your level, rather than just the title. Maybe you can use this to add further context to your level, or just threaten anyone that wants to play it. You'll be able to make, play, and upload at any time. And if it works anything like the first Mario Maker, you'll need to prove that your level is possible by finishing it yourself before you can upload it online. Otherwise, that baby ain't going anywhere. And it seems that the player can only upload 32 of their levels, though if it's anything like the first game, getting more medals will allow you more uploads. Alright, let's move on to Course World. As we boot it up, we're given the options of courses, leaderboards, network play, endless challenge, make a profile, and searching by ID. Now what's interesting is search by ID is actually one of 3 ways to search. As we click through to courses, we're given yet another search option, and detailed search. It is possible that both search by ID and search are the exact same thing given the identical icon, but we're hoping at least one of them allows us to type in some keywords. There's unfortunately no evidence of this yet, so fingers crossed. Especially as advanced search appears to be searching by filters. Those filters are game style, course theme, and difficulty, and then select by region, by popular choice, or by clear rate. And finally search by tags, and those tags are standard, puzzle solving, speedrun, auto scroll, auto Mario, short and sweet, multiplayer versus, themed, and music. Now Auto Mario is very likely just one of these, a level that's a spectacle but does all the work for you. Those were very popular in the first Maker game, so it's not at all surprising to see a category for them here. What is surprising though is this one. Music, huh? So these were also in the original Mario Maker, but they weren't quite as plentiful, so maybe there's more of an emphasis on music this time. Heck, maybe we'll even get something like Mario Paint. Anyway, back to the course screen, we have even more ways to find levels. There's hot courses, which are very likely the up-and-coming ones, popular courses, some of the most played, new courses, detailed search, and courses that you favorited. Though it's also worth noting that you can revisit any stage that you've recently played from the Maker profile, though we'll get more into that later. You'll also be able to sort through the courses by time frame, so if you only want the most popular courses of the week, you can do just that. And if you want the most popular courses of all time, you can likely do that too. It's certainly a more flexible system than the first Mario Maker, with tons of ways to find courses. We just hope you can search keywords this time, though typing in those IDs won't be anywhere near as cumbersome as they've actually been shortened by quite a bit, from the 16 characters of Mario Maker 1 to only 9. Now when viewing courses, it only seems to display the yeahs rather than the new boo downvote. Perhaps booing takes a yeah away? You also don't need 2 tags for every level, as shown by this individual here. In fact, you may not even need a tag at all, as in this scene when they're selecting tags, you can still press OK with nothing selected. Clicking on a course gives us a few more details, such as the clear rate, which in this case is pretty high, the world record clear time, the comments section, the ability to report a level, and also viewing more details. But what other details could there be? Maybe it opens up the person's Switch profile page? It also seems that you can click through to their maker profile page, where you'll likely find the rest of their levels. And of course you can download stages, which, unlike the first game, now have their own section and core spot, and this means there's a lot more space for them than in the first game. And hey, did you notice those buttons at the top of the screen? We can only see one as the other is masked by the direct logo, and that one that we can see is greyed out. Now we have to wonder if this allows us to cycle through pages of courses, especially as we're nearing the end of this page and we're only on course 23, and it would make sense why the left one's greyed out because we're still on the first page. Alright, let's get into the maker profile. So from here you can customize your Mii in a very similar way to Miitomo. You can change their shirts, trousers, wear an entire one piece, and customize their emotions. Now not that many clothes are unlocked, but here's what we can see. For hats, there's Luigi, Bowser Jr., a pipe, a cat, a boo, and Kamek. For shirts, there's a Nintendo shirt, a mushroom, Bowser Jr. or Nabbit, a bullet bill, and Fishbones. And Fishbones actually animates when in motion, so maybe a few of these will too. For trousers, there's shorts, Mario trousers, a skirt, a billet bill launcher skirt, a burner skirt, and a blooper skirt. For One Piece, there's an entire Luigi costume, Cat Mario, Kamek, and a Monty Mole One Piece. And for the emotes, there's normal, fidgety, annoyed, buoyant, thrilled, let's go, hello, show off, cutesy, and hyped. And it seems like the clothes may be unisex too, as while this is labelled as a burner skirt, we see a male Mii wearing it later. Now from the maker profile, you can view some of your content. You can see your uploaded levels, courses you've liked, and the super handy courses you've played. There's also this final icon at the end, which is the same one that appears for world records. So we imagine this is probably your play records, or maybe just a record of your own world records. There's also some brand new medals, and we think we know what most of these are. From left to right, this medal's probably for getting a ton of likes, this one's for getting a few likes, this one's probably finishing levels, this one's probably finishing a lot of levels, then we have this one for world records and speedrunning. Now this one I'm not so sure on. I would say speedrunning, but world record kind of covers that, so maybe it's something to do with versus. And then all of these relate to the endless challenge mode, seeming as the icon is the exact same. Well, while we're talking about the community aspects, how exactly is messaging and feedback going to work in Mario Maker 2? We know we can boo other people's levels, but is there something in here more elegant than Miiverse? Well, yeah, it's actually really similar. You can leave messages at any point in a level, and it will then show up for other people to see. And you can also place comments on the actual level listing. When posting a comment, you can choose between a pre-existing sticker, or type or draw your very own post. We even get the Miiverse emotes back. Heck, you can even hide your post if other players haven't finished the level yet to avoid spoilers. After finishing a level, comments will spiral by, and you can either pause a rotation to read them or fast forward through them. All the social elements are still there, and with maker profiles, they're no doubt going to be more robust than ever. But hang on a sec, let's go back to the pause screen a moment. Interestingly, we can get a look at Mario's moves, which I guess becomes more necessary when playing across 5 different styles of games, especially with 3D World being a lot more complex than the others. Hopefully, if that Mario U Deluxe style of spinning's in the game, where you spin when pressing the jump button again, then maybe you can disable it here, though we just hope it's not in the game. So that's how you search for levels and interact with them, but how about playing them? Well, the 100 Mario challenge from the first game has been replaced by the Endless challenge, so it's no longer about having 100 lives. Instead, you appear to start with 5 lives, and there are limitations on how many 1-ups you can get per level, which again is just like the first game. Notice how Mario collects 100 coins, and instead of gaining a life, he essentially banks one for collection at the end. And it seems that your coin count will transfer from stage to stage, as although Mario has collected 34 of the required 11 coins here, there's still a separate counter over here with a lot more coins. So this may be quite a bit more challenging than before, making a high spot on the leaderboard more impressive than ever. Courses are selected at random, with seemingly the only filter being difficulty. And then of course there's network play. The multiplayer works a bit differently to usual, as not only does everyone have their own screen, but they're sometimes working against each other in versus. All you need to do is beat a level before the others, and you'll gain experience on your versus rating. This is also reflected on your maker profile. Given the nature of competitive multiplayer, you don't come back in a bubble like in New Super Mario Bros., as when you're competing, why would the others free you? Instead, you'll just pop back into existence from the last checkpoint. We do wonder if this system carries over to co-op though. In that mode you're working together, but you still have your own individual screen space. Given that local multiplayer probably has something a bit more similar to the bubble system, we wouldn't be surprised to see it return for online co-op too. I mean, after all, is it really co-op if one of you's at the end of the level and the other one's near the start? Right at the start of the match you'll have an arrow pointing towards your character, but this fades after a few seconds. And did you notice the message button there? It seems we can taunt each other before the match starts. Objective-based levels still seem to work between all players. Notice here how the objective is to defeat Bowser, one player does it and the other one snags the win. Now what we don't know is how you'll find games in multiplayer, as when they select make a room for local wireless, they greet it with difficulty options. This seems more similar to the endless challenge where courses are selected randomly, but then they put emphasis on using the multiplayer versus tag. Is that so the game can recognize the category, or can we search for them in groups? Online in Mario Maker 2 seems super ambitious, and while there are still more details we'd like to know, we hope this closer look at online has given you a clearer perspective of how it all works. So is there anything more that you want out of Mario Maker 2's online, and what feature do you like the most? Let us know in the comments below, and of course be sure to subscribe to GameXplain for a lot more on Mario Maker 2 and other things gaming too. Until next time, bye.